Hello everyone, this is Nidhi here. In this video, we will be exploring how to set up SSH connection between two AWS EC2 instances using Ansible. Why do we need to do that? If you want to run any kind of automation using Ansible, then having an SSH connection is the prerequisite to run any Ansible playbook. We need to do some kind of initial setup on all the remote hosts so that SSH setup is done and you can connect through master nodes to or from you can connect from master nodes to all the remote hosts. And for the initial setup, you do not want to log into each of the servers and create first user and then set up the authorized keys manually. You obviously do not want to do that. So what we need to do as part of the SSH connection setup, you need to have some user on the master nodes and you need to generate the SSH keys on that master node and copy the public key to all the remote host. And once that is done, then you would be able to SSH to that server for that particular user. So let's see how we can do that. So first I will be creating the AWS EC2 instances. If you are not aware of how to create AWS EC2 instances, then you can also follow this. So I am just using Amazon Linux AMI. I'll just select and keeping all the configurations default. I'll just edit the security groups to do the SSH from any of the machine. Otherwise, you won't be able to SSH to the machine if you restrict this. So for now, I am just putting it at anywhere, but obviously you can restrict it. So review and launch. And this is the key. This is the first initial key that everybody uses while they connect to these servers. So this is I am using the existing K pair. You can create a new K pair. It's yeah, so this is how you can launch the instances. I can just name it as Ansible master node so that it's clear for what we are using this instance. So this is the master node. We need one more instance to show you how the SSH connection work. In general, obviously you always have more than one servers, but here as an example, I'm just taking one example, one instance. So here also SSH, I'm just doing anywhere, review and launch. Okay. So we did this step. We launched two AWS EC2 instances. Everything is documented here. The next step is we need to connect. How you can connect to these AWS instances. So this is the simple way you can directly use this connect and just SSH using this. For the Windows user, I always use the git bash so that I don't need to log into any AWS instances or install putty or generate the keys and then try to connect. I just use the git bash and here I can just paste this and as you can see, I am able to connect now. So this is good practice. As soon as you connect to this Linux machines, you always run the sudo yum update so that it always take all the updates which are pending on this particular machine. So we did this step, we are able to connect to this and we did the yum update. The next step. So Ansible, the prerequisite for running the Ansible command is you need to have the Python installed on your machine. So for the AWS, these machines AMIs, the Python is already installed. But if you are using any other Linux instance where Python is not installed, then you need to install it. So as you can see that sudo yum update command is still running. And the second prerequisite is this, you need to install the Ansible. And for Ansible, you can use this command. Again, this command is specific for this particular machine. If you are using Ubuntu, Red Hat, then obviously this command can change and you need to install it accordingly to that Linux version. So this yum update is complete. I wanted to check if Python is installed or not. So as you can see, I can check like that. So Python is installed. And now I am just installing the Ansible. So let me just copy this command. This is installing the Ansible. So now once Ansible is installed, now to run your playbook, you need some user so that you can copy that user publicly to the remote host. Again, if you do not want to create a new user, you can always use EC2-user and generate the public key for this user only. But when we do any kind of automation, it is a good practice that you always use the different users. So here we will be setting up a DevOps user. So I need to log in as a root now. So I will be doing that. And this is the command that I can use to create a user. So I am creating this DevOps user and I need to set up the password for this as well. So I'll just do this. I am setting the password. It will ask again. So I'll do that. So the user is created successfully now. And this is the step echo hyphen e. This is required if you want to do any sudo using this command. Then you can add the entry for this user in this sudo ersd file so that it will not prompt you to provide the password each and every time. So I have just copied this command here. So this is the command. I'll just run this. In case if you want to do sudo, then you can just do it. You don't need to provide the password again and again. Encrypt the password. If you want whatever the password you have provided, if you want to encrypt that password and then use it, then obviously you can do this. So I'm skipping this step for now because I don't need to do that. But yes, in case you want, you can do that. So now user DevOps has created successfully. So the next step, now we have to generate the SSH keys for that DevOps user. So for that, first thing is required that you will be logged in as a DevOps user. So now I am logged in as a DevOps user. I will be generating the key for that. So you can follow the prompt. By default, it will be installing everything here. In case you want to change it, you can change it. But I am using the same default directories. So here you can see that it has generated the public key for this. So as you can see here, it just generated. You can see the timestamp. It has just generated this public keys. Now the requirement is you have to add this public key to all the remote hosts. So manually, if you have one host, you can just cat this public key and just copy it to the authorized keys folder of that another server. But in general, obviously you always have a lot of servers. You have 10 to 20 servers and you don't want to do it manually. So in that case, how you want to do that? If you want to copy this file to somewhere else in your Git repo so that your Ansible playbook is always automated, no manual steps, then you can do that also. But otherwise, you can keep it here also. So in my Ansible playbook, I am running my all Ansible playbook with DevOps user. So it will automatically take this public file. But in case you want to copy it and then refer it, you can do that. Okay. So now how we will connect initially? We have created the DevOps user. We have generated the SSH keys. Now the requirement is we have to copy it to the remote server. So right now on remote server, nothing is there. You cannot SSH from this server. I can show you what error you will get. So this is the IP of this server that I have created. So let me just take this and I can do this SSH, just a minute. So with DevOps user, I am trying to do the SSH to this server. So what error I should get? I should get the permission deny error because I have not done anything yet. You will be getting this and it says that permission denied, right? And if I do the same thing with EC2-user, I will be getting the same issue because I have not set up anything for that user also. So now for this, I have created the Git repo for this to use. So this is my Git repo Ansible sample application. So here is a role add DevOps user. I have created this role that you need. You need whatever step we did manually on the master node, it's the same step that you will be just putting it in the Ansible playbook so that it is automated. So what I am doing, I am just creating a new user. providing the password, add that DevOps user to the sudo ERS file that we did. And this is the step that you are doing. This is the step where you are actually putting the public file, your .pub file to the remote host. So this lookup will try to find out this public file and paste it on the authorized keys on the remote host. And this is in case you need it, you can do this. This is like the password authentication you want to disable and the root login you want to disable. Once you have created the DevOps user, then you can do this. Okay, so Git, if you have not installed the Git on your system, then obviously you can install it. So I am just installing the Git here because I have just launched this instance and by default Git is not there. And now I am just cloning this repo. So let me just clone this repo. Okay, so I did that. So let me just go there. So I already explained the code, what I have written here, right? So the code is there and this is how you can call the above role. So I have the main.yaml file that actually calling the roles. So main.yaml file, this is calling this role, right? This is I have already. So now the requirement is what you need to do. First, how you can run the playbook. You need to provide the EC2 user because right now on the remote host, there is no DevOps user. So there is no way you can connect to those servers. You can only use the EC2 user and the key. What key you can use? You can use the PAM file that we have generated while launching the instance. So I was showing you that I have this key here. So I'll just copy this key. I have already, I'll just copy this key here like this. So this is just one manual steps that you need to do initially. But yes, right now you can see that ansible.aut.pam file is there. Okay. And I am assuming the remote host which you have has the same keys as the master node. Obviously, if that is the different, then it's a different, altogether different scenarios. So first we have to use the .pam file to connect initially. Okay. I will be going to this point later. Once I'll run the playbook, then obviously I'll show you. So the inventory file, so obviously this is the new instance. So I need to update the host file so that because it might have the old IPs. So I'll just use the new IP that I have just created. So I'll update this one. Okay. So I have updated this one. I think there is one more thing that I need to update. Let me just show you. So this is the only thing. Okay, so here it's fine. Actually deploy SSH key. And as you can see, if I'll run it using DevOps user, it would be able to find this public file also. So let's just go there on your Ansible playbook. And for now, what I am doing, there is a file called cat ansible.cfg. So it has some settings right now. So what I am doing, I am just um, uh, renaming this file so that I can show you what error you can get if you don't have this file. Okay. So just a minute. So I have just put this file like this. So now I don't have this file. I have this file, right? Okay. So now what is the next step? So let me just run this command as it is. So I am running this Ansible playbook. This is my main.yaml file. This is the inventories I am passing. This is the user I am passing, and this is the key file that I am passing. And this is the config file in case you have any variables. You want to deploy any applications. In that case, you need it. For now, obviously, it's not required, but yeah, for safe side, let it be there. So I'm running it. So let's see what happens. You can see this error. You would be getting this error permission 644 for that PAM file is too open. So you cannot access directly the private key. So for that, you need to change the permission of this file also. So let me just change it now. So now I have changed this permission. Okay. So now when I run this command, what error I should get? Actually, I will not get any error, but what I will be getting? I will be getting the prompt. Okay. I think it was already there, so I have not got the prompt. Okay. So here you can see it did the add DevOps user to this. It did the deploy the SSH key. It did this. This is actually, I have included the Tomcat installation also there. That is why it is running, but it's not required for this video. But yeah, let it run. So what it is doing, it is just installing the Tomcat server on that remote host also. So let it complete now. Now we will see. Now what we will be doing. Okay, so now it's done. I showed you before that you will be getting the permission deny error. Right now, let's try again using DevOps user. So let me put the IP here. Okay. So as you can see, I am connected to this user right now. You can see this is the user, right? So my SSH connection is set up now. Exit, I'll do the exit. And now what I'll do, I will try to do the same thing with EC2 user, and you will see what you will see. You will see the permission deny error because we have not done anything with that user. So, but I can just show you just a minute. So this is how you can see it will try to do this, and here you can see that permission deny. So this is how you can do the setup on this. So our playbook actually installed that Tomcat also on that server. So let's try to access that also. So if I go there, let me go the public IP. So this is the public IP. So Tomcat is always installed with 8080, but you won't be able to access it now. Why? Because we have not added any security groups for that port. So we need to add the inbound. So this is the security. Yeah, this is okay. So this is the inbound rules. This is the security group, and this is the inbound rule. So there is only one SSS. So what we need to do, we need to add a new role called custom TCP. And what is the port? 8080. For now, I'm just doing it anywhere. Obviously, you can restrict it, save rules. Now, if I try to access it, you see I can see the Tomcat page because that rule is configured now. And now I can tell you the reason of this file also, that configs.dev.yaml file. So I have set up that example slash samples index.html. So here you can see this is the dev environment. So how it is getting this dev value? This is what I wanted to show you. So if you go in the config files in dev.yaml file, I have this index page and I have put this is dev environment. And in this prod.yaml, I have said this is prod environment. So this is how you can basically put any templates or anything related to the variables. You want different things on different environments, so you can use the configs variable files for that. And here, if I show you the Tomcat installation file, if I go there, so this is normal using install Java, and this is the instructions of how to download the Tomcat software, extract it, create the symlink, ownership, things like that. And here is the um, sample directory that I have created just to show you. Obviously, in your Tomcat, mostly you would be having some war file to put it there, but here I am just putting the index.html. So I created this directory and I'm copying this sample index.html in on this here, and this is there I'm using the template. And if I'll show you the template, so this is the template index.html. and here it is taking the variable. So at runtime it always take the variable according to the environment. So now I can show you right now. So let me just log in as DevOps again. Okay, and let me just cd ansible. What I'll do, I just run the same playbook but just change the environment. So for that, what I am doing, I am just a- making the entry in the host file of prod. So it's the same server I am using. Obviously, you can have the different servers, but here I'm just trying to use this. So if I go to EC2 running instances, I get the IP. Okay, I think it's all here. I can just get confirmation from here. Ansible inventories, dev, host, how it is set up, it's all. So let me just do it all here. Okay. And I have just put this. Now what will I do? I just rerun the playbook with the prod.yaml file. And here is one more thing. Now as you, okay, let me just do this. Prod.yaml file. I'm just checking how it is. The file name is prod. So I'll just put prod here. Okay. So let me just run it here. Okay. I am not putting it properly. So let me just. Okay. So this was failing because some DevOps password is not there. Yes, because actually, yeah. So I was doing the testing only on this config file. So here, if you see dev.yaml, it has DevOps password and vi.prod. We need to enter this DevOps password so that this will work. So I can just put it like this, DevOps underscore. I need to find out exactly what is the DevOps underscore password. For now, I'm just putting like this. Okay. So as you can see, because all these things are already installed, so it is showing in green color. The only thing like the sample index.html got changed, so it is showing in the yellow color. So now if I hit this URL, you can see this prod environment. So this is how you can use the variable files to make sure so that they can be changed as per the environment. So we have covered everything. So last thing I just wanted to say, so now you have configured your SSH setup. So now you don't need to run it with the EC2 user. You can run the same playbook like this using this DevOps ID only. Now you don't need to use that PAM file again and again. This is just to do the initial setup. So I can just show you how it will. So you can see this is also working. You are able to connect with this also because we already did the setup. So this file you just need initially to do the SSH setup. After that, for any deployment, anything like that, you can directly use this keys, whatever you have set up for that user. Okay, thank you.